who is leading or dominating the growing population of LGBTQ, bisexuality? It is Black women. It's not Black men. Men, by and large, in the United States tend to skew more conservative. So it's like for every person who says, well, all the gay Black men, okay, well, let's also remove the lesbian Black women if we're not interested. They're not even a part.
When I have conversations with Black women, they always talk about, statistically speaking, they have to date outside their race. So say there are 100 Black women, 100 Black men.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, of that 100 Black men, let's say 25% of them, 25 of them are going to just not date Black women. They're dating other women. That's 100 Black women and only 75 men.
Yeah.
Now, it gets even worse because of those 75, some of them are not dating women at all. They're gay.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Now it goes down even more, right? Now you have 100 Black women, for let's say 20 of them are gay. So now it's 55. So you have 100 Black women competing to date 55 Black men because a percentage of them, those Black men are gay. They're gone. They're off the board. They're not coming back. It's over. And then a percentage of them are dating other groups of women.
Yeah.
What are Black women to do? Now, Dr. Umar says you double up, but I don't think that's a realistic solution. That's certainly not a remedy.
I've heard this before. Now, to my understanding, in general, there's less men than women across the board, cross-culturally. I don't think that's unique to the Black population. So I kind of understand that point, but I'm like, all cultures experience that. So
or is it like 2 to 1, or 2 women for every 1.5 women for every man?
Yeah. So like that statistic is something that impacts all races of women. So I don't think that necessarily applies. Now I've heard, I've heard the whole gay thing, right? And it's interesting because if you look at the who is leading or dominating, I guess, the growing population of LGBTQ, bisexuality, it is Black women. It's not Black men. Men, by and large, in the United States tend to skew more conservative.
Yeah.
But if you look, I think I did another lab on this. It is actually women who are, by and large, embracing queer far more than men. So it's like for every person who says, well, all the gay Black men, okay, well, let's also remove the lesbian Black women if we're not interested. They're not even a part, right? I see it all the time. I see a ton of Black women, specifically with white women too, not even like other dark skin, Black women, like usually like white women. I see Black women out here dating, but that's a whole other side point. So it's like, take out the gay thing, take out there's a less than, okay, take that out. And then you have the percentage, okay, well, those who are dating white women. Okay. Granted, there are men out there who I believe who just do not want to mess with Black women. They have their own issues or whatever. Now, I've had the opportunity to talk to some of those men who've ended up with women of other races, et cetera, et cetera. I personally know men who, they would have liked a Black woman, but ended up with a woman of another race. And something that I've heard that I don't think women fully understand is that sometimes these are the men that women weren't even really paying attention to. Because, in Black American family, there's trauma. So it's like the marriage rights, the perceptions of family in general. You're coming from the plantation. A lot of that stuff is coming from a traumatized slave mentality.
I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so it really, male figures are not substantially important in the family.
You have these other cultures where it's like they have thousands of years of traditions behind mirrors. They have thousands of years where Black Americans, like we're still looking back to the plantation.
Well, the case for reparations is that the economy still has the wealth from slavery in this economy. The poverty is still here. And there's one specific group that is American descendants of slavery who carry that poverty still. People have always made the case that, well, that's over with, that's in the past. And what we find is that whether you talk about our wealth position, whether you talk about our outcomes in terms of health, whether you talk about mass incarceration, I can draw a line to all of those outcomes to slavery. So, there is no way to have a conversation, given all that we know now, where we don't say, listen, slavery, the institution of slavery still impacts us. It still tethers one group of people to the bottom. And the only way we make up for that plunder is to repay it.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So you have these cultures who already come with their own perceptions about family, about marriage rights, about what a wife does, and it's very much embraced their culture. Whereas Black American, our experience was a little bit different, and so as a result, you may have an Asian woman, or you may have a Latino woman who they have their own perceptions of marriage, and they're like, okay, maybe he's not the most handsome, but I can perceive that, you know, he's a hard worker. I can perceive that he's going to be making good money. He's going to be this and that, and so they're looking at other qualities. Right? And then they go home and have moms who are saying, look for this, look for that. They have like a system. Whereas in Black America, I have talked to plenty of Black women. I was told this myself when I was young. It's like, you know, don't worry about marriage, don't worry about relationships at all. It was like, you know, because if he leaves you or when he leaves you, you want to make sure that you have your own money. And so we're being taught to take care of ourselves. We're being taught how to manage without a man.
The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility. And then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really.
Because for so many of us, that was our experience, right? So it's like some of us are getting different messages. So the reason I'm saying that is because let's say you're a guy in college and you're studying to be a physicist, or you're studying to be a microbiologist, whatever. Like, you're getting making great money. You may not have the swag. And you're likely not going to be surrounded by a ton of Black women if you're in that kind of field. Say there's Asian in there who, maybe you guys hit it off. Maybe, you know, she's really into science, you're into science, and, you know, you guys grow a friendship. And so I'm saying that because the men that I've met who have found relationships with women, I can't say every last one of them it's been just self-hatred. Some of them I'm sure they are.
Right.
But I'm saying that these things are a lot more dynamic. That there's, I think, a bit of self-rejection on both ends.
I think you bring a great point as far as access.
Yes.
If you are in tech, if you are in the sciences, we're not openly represented in those fields. And so the women that you have access to is going to be a bit more diverse.
Yes.
And then the other qualifiers that you mentioned, I thought that was a beautiful point. Because one of the things that other cultures value is work ethic. How hard a person works, not necessarily how much they make off of how hard they work. But if you look at particularly the Hispanic culture, you'll see a family where the husband is a cook at a restaurant.
You literally
and his wife loves him to bits because she recognizes he's going out there every day but her and the children.
Yeah.
And so I do challenge Black women, and I would say this before I challenge Black women. I personally understand that Black men have some problems that we need to sort through. And I think Black men, any Black man worth his salt, would do this self-analysis and introspection to say, I don't think it works too. But I challenge Black women to ask what is important to me beyond how much money my partner can make. Going back to those three questions, right? Value systems. Because not only is resources financially valuable, but resources of knowledge, resources of access, these are still infinitely valuable. Because if I don't have $1 million of physical money, but I have a game plan or a blueprint to make $1 million, that's just as valuable with the right partner.
Yeah.